Hi, I'm Dr. John Martin.
And I'm Lori Beveridge, and we're California Elite Fitness.
We have recently had some of our athletes complain about hamstring tightness, and this is something I see not only in my practice, but we see with many of our athletes in our training programs. Hamstrings are notoriously a tight muscle. They're supposed to be because they do stability in the knee and in the hip. But they need to be mobile and flexible, so we're going to show you a couple of key ways to get more mobility and stretch into these muscles. So one thing that's really important with the hamstrings is that they are integrated and they work with other areas. So they work with the glutes, they work with the hip flexors, they work with the core. So we need to address all these issues in order to fix those hamstrings. So the most important thing to do, because the hamstrings don't have a great blood flow and they tighten up easily, we really have to go through and warm up the body and get blood flow to those muscles. So the first thing you want to do, at least for 5 minutes, we want you to do some type of aerobic warm-up, whether it's jumping jacks, a little jog, that type of thing to get blood flow there. That's going to help that muscle stretch a little bit. But then what's also important is we want to go through a really solid, thorough, dynamic stretching routine. So the first thing we're going to do, we can go right at the hamstrings first, and we're going to do a dynamic hamstring stretch. So Coach Lori's going to show you here, show them what we do for our normal hamstring stretches.
So you want one leg straight with your toe up underneath it, and you want to start by pushing those glutes out, hanging your hands down, palms facing each other, reach down and swoop up. Okay, you can switch. You maybe want to do 3 to 5 on each side. Just remember to push those glutes out first.
And what we mean by dynamic stretching is stretching with movement as opposed to static stretching where you just stretch and hold. The next thing we want to do, we talked about the other area that's integrated with that hamstring, is the glutes. So we have a dynamic glute stretch.
You want to bring one hand on your knee, hug that knee, hug your ankle, pull up, and make sure you pull your shoulders back. Draw your abs in, and that'll help you balance. Again, 3 to 5 on each side. We're just showing you a couple.
Okay. Then the third one we want to do is we also want to do a hip flexor stretch. We're going to do it 2 different ways because the hip flexor stretch is really important because it directly opposes the hamstrings. So they work as opposites, so we really need to make sure this area is stretched. We're going to do both of our stretches on the knee.
Have something soft so that you can place one knee down and your other leg is at 90 degrees. Your foot is flat. Hook those thumbs together. Reach up toward the sky or ceiling, square those hips, and you're going to feel a nice stretch in this hip flexor.
So what we can also do is make this a little dynamic. So what you can add to this is a little pulse forward and back, but you got to be really careful. It's an easy stretch. Don't try to stretch any tightness out typically, but just get a little pulse in there, and that slowly gets that hip flexor stretch. Now, the hip flexor is complex, so what we want to do, our second exercise, she's going to take her back leg and she's going to put that at a 45-degree angle. So you can see her foot out here. Now she's going to, again, pulse forward, same routine, but now she's going to feel it deeper and on the inside of that hip flexor. So that'll give her a great stretch. So that's our typical warm-up. So to repeat that, we want to go through some aerobic activity to get blood flow to the lower part of the body, and then we want to go through our dynamic stretching routine. Now we're going to show you 4 exercises that will help strengthen the hamstrings, the hip flexors, the glutes, and the core. So our first one is, again, it's an exercise. It's a dynamic exercise. We're going to do dynamic bridging. So we're going to get on the floor here, and she's going to have her legs at a 90-degree angle. She's going to bring her hips up, and you can see this is a 90-degree angle. And now what she's going to do is she's going to hold it for maybe 5 seconds at the top, squeeze the glutes together, contract those hamstrings, and up and down in 5-second intervals. You can do this anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute. And what this does is it stretches the hip flexors as you get to the top. It contracts the glutes and the hamstrings in the back, and it always works the core. Okay, our next one is, this one's another dynamic movement. Coach is going to stay on the floor here. I'm going to get this exercise ball, and we're going to put it right up here. A lot of times what you're going to do is you're going to get the back of your calf on it. And again, she's going to have her on the back, and her hands are going to be down, and now she's going to raise her hips up, and now she's going to pull the ball towards her. Okay, so what this does, she's going to go back and forth. And you can do maybe a 1 or 2 second hold at the top of that motion, back and forth. But what she's doing is she's contracting and relaxing all those muscles. She's contracting the hip flexor. Now she's relaxing and stretching that hip flexor. Contracting the hamstrings, relaxing. She's squeezing the glutes the whole time. She's getting work there. And whenever you're in a bridge position, you're working the core. Awesome, awesome. So that's our second one. Okay, our third one is a plank. Now this gets everything. All these exercises get all parts that we're looking at today. So she's going to get in a straight arm plank. She's really flat, so you're working the core, we all know. But at the same time, in order to be in this position, she has to have her quads contracted and her hamstrings contracted and her glutes contracted. So now what she's going to do to really drive the glutes, and this one's more predominantly a glute work or exercise, she's going to lift one leg at a time, hold it for about 3 to 5 seconds. She's really going to tighten up that glute, hamstrings, and quad at the same time. Then she's going to go to the other side. So you can do this again. You can do this for anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute, repeating on each side. So again, that gets all core, hamstrings, quads, glutes, everything in that area. And our last one is a static bridge. Now this is the one that drives those hamstrings the most. So again, we're going to bring our feet up, and if you notice, she's going to have this angle of her knee. She's going to come back a little bit more at about a 120-degree angle. And then again, she's going to come up in this bridge position again. But what she's going to do is she's driving her heels into this concrete table. Okay, and then relax. Go back down. Okay, up again and back down. Now she's going to tell you if she wants. This is a powerful contraction of these hamstrings. Really strengthens them. So these are 4 exercises that will help not only strengthen, but increase mobility in these hamstrings. And that is a good one, right?
Yes, I want to tell you that is true.
All right, good. So these are the proper warm-ups, the proper stretching, and the proper exercises to release those hamstrings, make them more mobile, and they will definitely help improve your performance.
That is awesome. Thank you, Coach. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. If you want to see more videos, hit the subscribe button. And if you have something to share, please leave a comment. We hope to see you soon.